Good Wednesday evening. How's everybody doing? Hopefully you're doing well. Again, thank you for joining me tonight on The Process Live. I'm Mark Smith. Boy, oh boy, what a show do I have in store for all of us today. We've started to build something, and what we build is something that is escalating, but it's also in the premise of leaving a legacy. So every time we get together, every show that we have, whether it's The Process Live, whether it's the podcast, whether it's just the messaging that we go on, it's designed to help grow forward, help take us all to another level. So we can sit and banter and banter and banter, but this is designed to be something that's positive, something to help each one of us, each one of you listening, each one of your family members, each one of your friends. It's designed to help them go to another level. We're selfish. We are truly selfish individuals if we don't share our gifts. The Bible says we are to share our time, our talents, and our treasures. So if we don't do that, we are truly falling short of what we're truly called to do. And that's not being respectable, responsible, or what I talked about 2 weeks ago, accountability, integrity, responsibility, and respect. But anyway, I can go on and on and on about that. I'm excited to start this show, to kick this off with a subject that all of us have had to deal with. But before I get started, let's go. Let's just go ahead and get started with it. Welcome back. Before we get started, I want to kind of throw this out there for everybody watching on YouTube, Facebook, as well as LinkedIn. We want interaction. We want you to comment, especially when we get ready to dive into our subject matter for today. We'd like to hear from you. Not only does it give us an opportunity to open us up as well, but also an opportunity for individuals to receive some new of the process merchandise. So again, I want you to participate. I want you to email me as well. If you're too shy, don't worry about it. Email me at mark@theprocessmarksmith.com. Again, with what we're going to talk about today, because I'm sure it's going to be powerful. My first friend that I'm going to introduce today, man, years of history. There's a saying that it takes a man to teach a man how to be a man. I owe this gentleman a lot from the time that I stepped into the DMV to where I'm going and who I've become today. And he's right here. He's local. I'm going to let him talk about himself in a few minutes, but his name is Larry Register. So Larry, good evening. Are you out here with me today?
Yes, sir. I'm here.
Welcome, brother. Thanks again. Next gentleman, man, powerful. When he speaks, individuals listen. Sometimes he doesn't say a lot, but within what he says, there's power in so many different ways of what he does. I am so proud and so honored to have this gentleman with me. You probably heard him as well on my podcast show a few weeks back, Mr. Terrence Allen. Mr. Terrence, are you there?
I'm here. Good evening, everyone. I'm here.
All right. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining me today. Again, I'm truly humbled and honored that you guys have joined me today. And this subject matter we're going to talk about, I think, really hits home to a lot of people who don't want to talk about it. But before we do, I'm going to start with you, Larry. I always chronicle up front and off the gate what the process means to me. And I know the process means something different to everybody, anybody and everybody within themselves. So kind of quickly, can you kind of outline what the process means to Larry Register in Larry Register's life?
The process to me is an evolution of where I am today and where I have come from, the experiences that I have had in life that have made me who I am today. Also, it has given me some type of insight into the future in terms of how I can be a better person than I am today. I realize that every day is a learning experience and I'm always evolving. And that's sort of my process in life, to be the best man that I can be in terms of helping others and being the best I can be.
Thank you. Thank you. What about you, Terrence?
The process for me, it means just that. It means what it takes to get from point A to point B. I had a teacher in undergrad who said, when you die, there are two dates on your tombstone and a dash. She said, what will that dash represent? What did you do in that dash that had impact? So the process is just that, getting from point A to point B. Your life, what impact you're having, your experiences, your journey. The process is what you learn through that journey, and what experiences that you took and added it to your quiver, if you will, for to help others deepen their lives and have deeper impact as they move about.
Thank you. Thank you. The process for me, I can sum it up in two words, and that's knowledge versus wisdom. Knowledge versus wisdom. See, as I'm finishing, getting ready for the next episode of Why Not Me, I always go back to the word responsible. And by responsibility carries a huge, huge weight on each one of us. So the things that we go through in life are the knowledge builders. Those are the building blocks. Those are the knowledge bases for everything that we need to help us gain that wisdom. And that's what we do with that wisdom that is totally impactful. Is how are we going to help each other? What are we going to do with that wisdom? We talked earlier at the very beginning of the onset, which is my setup. It talked about being selfish versus selfless. And that all starts within understanding and accepting your process. So thank you, gentlemen. Let's get into something that's deep. I want to talk about something that all of us have fell victim to, even everybody that's listening right now, and that's pride. And I know a lot of people have very different levels of pride or how they term pride. But in my writings, I've always said that pride means something simple. And those who know me know I use a lot of acronyms. So what we're going to talk about tonight is what that means. And that pride is, please remember, ignorance destroys everything. Think about it. So what I want to do in getting this roundtable started is I'm going to start with you, Terrence, first, and then you can shift it to Larry. I want you to think of one of those 5 words. One of those 5 words, and talk about its impact on you and why.
When thinking about the word pride, so I think about the I, right? And ignorance, it comes at different aspects of our lives because we have to learn and grow as time goes on. But one thing I feel like pride does is it can either get in the way of you learning, which will keep a person ignorant and misinformed and misunderstood, or pride can position you in a place to where you can, have great achievement, meaning that you take pride in your work, meaning that you take pride in your family, meaning you take pride in the impact that you're having. In terms of going back to that I, the ignorance, many times pride can get in the way of us learning. It can get in the way of us having proud moments. Many times pride can often get in the way of our successes. We can sometimes get in our own way. And the work that we do, we often tell our clients, who we call members, we tell them, get out of your own way. And ignorance can do that. Pride can do that. Pride can get in people's way and really impede them from being great and being successful. And one thing about pride, it can really make you have a lot of regrets, because you look back and you say, man, if I wasn't so prideful, or if I didn't know, if I had a better understanding, I could have been here. or if I have done it this way, I could have met this person or had this impact. So it brings up a lot of shoulda, couldas, and wouldas. And one thing that I often say about life is I try not to have any regrets. So try to move pride aside, be well informed, be well educated, remove the ignorance. So these are the steps you take. If you do this, it has these consequences. And move your pride aside. As men, sometimes we are very prideful. Sometimes it can really get in the way of us being successful. Like I say, and impede our growth. So definitely being aware, educating yourself, positioning yourself around people who are smart and educated and can help you and have that impact in your life. So.
Thank you. How about you, Larry? Which of those letters at first would you feel mean the most to you?
The first thing I want to do is kind of give a definition of pride, and then I'll share my 2 words with you. Okay, is that all right?
Yeah, we're gonna share just one. Just share the first one, and then we'll come back for the second word.
Okay, so out of the acronym, I came up with remember, and the reason why I chose remember is because I always like to remember where I come from in life. It keeps me focused on where I'm going. I don't want to make the same mistakes. I have a lot of life lessons that I have been taught, and if I can remember those lessons, maybe I won't make the same mistakes that I made in the past. Also, it gives me an opportunity to reach back and help others by remembering, who I am and where I've come from. Journey of life has a lot of challenges and achievements and success. So if I can remember all those things, it keeps me well grounded and anchored in life. And I can, move ahead and try to be the best person that I can be in life as I travel on my journey.
That's it, and it's a journey. A lot of people think it's a sprint, but it's truly a marathon. Definitely a marathon. For me, I'm gonna start at the very beginning. I'm gonna say please. I'm gonna say please. We have lost the fact or the knack, not the fact, because we have the fact. It's the knack of putting it into perspective and utilizing it. We've lost the ability to reach across and help our neighbor. We've lost the fact of saying please and thank you. We've forgotten about how important or what a simple please, the type of effect that it can have on an individual. Individual could be having a bad day, or you can just be in a conversation, or you could do something as simple as please pass me the salt. Can you please do this for me? Can you please? We all know the reaction that individuals are going to give us when we use that simple word, please. If we were hardened, if we felt bad, if we felt mistrusting, and again, we deal with a lot of individuals in our line of work that are mistrusting. If you use that please, that breaks that barrier. That takes that air out of the room and allows individuals to kind of woosah a little bit and be able to move forward. But I want to kind of shift back for a second while we have some time. Is you talked about ignorance before we go forward, Terrence. You talked about ignorance. What do you feel is the catalyst of why individuals lay their head on that ignorance pill?
Ironically enough, it's just for it's a level of comfort. When someone they get in a bind or they get in a comfortable place and they get complacent, they don't open themselves up to learn, or to remove, blocks to be able to absorb information and learn from others. I think complacency is what it is. People become comfortable. They don't want to get out of their comfort zone, out of their little box. And I always say, in order to make a change, a deep change, you have to become uncomfortable. And people aren't willing to do that. So they reside in that, that ignorant place. They reside in that place of comfort. They reside in that place of knowing, and in their minds and innately, they understand that they are blocking their own blessings, if you will. They understand that ignorance is the key to them not being as successful, but they sometimes are comfortable there. They fear the unknown. They fear of stepping out of that area that, or they fear of stepping out of those areas that are going to propel them forward. So I would say definitely fear, and definitely complacency keeps them there. What will get them out of that place is taking a step, being a pioneer, being bold, being brave, and removing themselves from a situation that's continually holding them down, and really moving to a different place where they can, move forward for themselves and their families. Because it's not just about us; it's about our children, our grandchildren, great grandchildren, future generations.
That's right. We got legacy class going on tonight, everybody. Yeah, one of the things that you talked about that I say almost in every one of my podcasts is comfort is a casualty of growth. Comfort is truly a casualty of growth. And when we don't push ourselves to be the best that we can be on every single day, then what are we doing? We're stymieing something that's really not called for us to do. We are challenged, we are made, we are designed to go ahead and push forward and grow and never stop growing and learning.
Absolutely.
Larry, you mentioned remember. Let's talk about that let's dig into that a little bit more. What is it so impactful, or why do you feel people don't remember where they come from?
Well, let me kind of break it down the following way. I think that I don't want to become a fake person in life. Sometimes you can achieve a lot of success in life and you kind of lose track of who you are and where you have come from and what you have achieved in life, the challenges that you have faced, and you don't have anything to anchor you and keep you in place. And I don't want to become a fake person. I want to be real with who I am and what made me who I am and how I got where I am today. So it's important for me to remember who I am, what I stand for, the lessons that I was taught from my parents, my friends, from the preacher. I just don't want to lose touch with that. So I like to remember who I am and where I've come from.
Absolutely. Knowledge speaks, wisdom listens. That's exactly right. That's it. Let me ask you this. I'm gonna start with you, Larry. The next word within pride. Please remember, ignorance destroys everything. What next word besides remember would you say means the most to you, and why?
I think the word would be destroys. And what I mean by that is your ability to take risks sometimes becomes a challenge, and it can destroy you from taking a risk or trying to do something that's not comfortable. People tend not to want to try to do things that are not comfortable, feel right. So I think it destroys your ability to be a go-getter. It destroys your ability to think outside the box. It destroys your ability to be all you can be by not feeling threatened by falling on your face or being looked down upon if you make a mistake or do something wrong. So I think the word destroys is very powerful to remember in that aspect.
Thank you. How about you, Terrence?
Man, Larry took my word. But in thinking about the E and everything, I think it is important I know it's important to really think about that word. What does that mean? A person's everything is defined differently. People pour themselves into, certain aspects of their lives, whether it be family, whether it be work, whether it be their church, different aspects of their lives. People, they give their all or their everything to. And for me, when I think about everything and putting the whole acronym together, pride can destroy a lot of things. It can destroy everything. It can get in your way of getting toward the things that you desire to have, whatever that everything is. For some people, that everything is to obtain wealth, obtain homes, obtain businesses. Pride can destroy those things. Pride can block those things. Ignorance can block you from reaching your goals. So when I think about everything in that aspect, that's how I interpret it, in terms of how we're speaking about pride and how we really need to make a valiant effort to, one, always remember that these things can get in the way of your success. Pride being one of them, complacency being one of them, laziness being one of them, lack of knowledge, lack of opening yourself up to new opportunities, lack of open-mindedness can block you from being able to get to your point of everything, if you will. So it all goes together, man. It really makes you think about your life in terms of your past, your present, and your future.
Mm-hmm.
And Mark, you mentioned that we're building legacy, and so we have to take all these things into consideration when we're thinking about our future generations, because it's not just about us, and we have to remember that when we're thinking about pride in every aspect.
I got you. Beautiful. Well said. I'm going to go with, for me, I'm going to say everything. And I say everything because it encompasses it all. It encompasses it all. One small step, one small mistake. Each of us have seen it cost individuals so much. Their lives, their homes, their families, their jobs, their livelihood, and even, unmentionable things that has been thrust upon them. So everything would be my other one that I think is the biggest key in looking at the big picture. But also, as we spin that around, everything that we encompass in life is built for success. See, a lot of times we find ourselves in that I want to say pity party mode. We find ourselves in that mode of woe is me. But when we don't really take that opportunity to truly see that this is a blessing, when we teach the workshop, when we do something called Gender Day, I always ask the guys, have you ever thought that your situation, not your problem, because we don't have problems, we have situations. Have you ever thought that your situation, when you got caught, was whether you believe in God, whether you believe in Buddha, whether you believe in Allah, it's a higher power, right? We all agree. Have you thought that higher power stopped you right there from destroying everything? Had you ever considered that? Because if you grasp that mindset and you believe in that, then guess what? You actually won. See, it's a victory for you. So your ignorance that you thought was going to destroy everything saved you right then and there. Let me hear you, fellas. What do you think? What do you think, Larry?
I think you're making a good point. I think that pride also has a tendency to make us weak, in the sense that we let it get in our way, and it takes away our drive towards trying to be the best we can be in life. Also, it prevents you from being honest and truthful to your family members, your friends. And, I can remember a story, and I'll just, briefly talk about it. There was this brother who wouldn't admit to his family that he was wrong in the way he treated his siblings as they were growing up in life. And he held on to that belief that he was right and they were wrong. He wouldn't let his pride, he let his pride get in the way, rather, and it really hurt the family. And the family kind of lost touch with this individual. So I guess in my mind, I don't want pride to make me weak and not stand up and accept my failures, my faults, and to be a better person and help others and do what I need to do to be the best I can be in terms of what that keyword success means, which we can all define in many, many different ways.
Thank you. What about you, Terrence? What do you think?
I also, know for a fact that you definitely are hitting on a lot of crucial points. I feel like pride, it teaches us a lot of lessons. Pride teaches us how to be better, how to make changes in our lives, because pride can be a mirror, if you will. Pride gets in our way in so many cases. It forces us to really think about our actions, who we are, who we were, who we want to be, and how to make those situations better. Pride can, we talk about how it can destroy, things and families. But so we have to be able to understand and know when pride is getting in the way. We have to be able to understand and know when we're being prideful and when we are in a process of damaging something. We talk about the process. Pride is a process. Over time, it can damage a whole lot of things, and so we have to be able to understand and be cognizant enough and be well aware within ourselves to say, "Hey, I'm wrong. I take accountability. I could have handled that differently. I apologize. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it." We have to, as my grandmother says, we have to eat crow. And so it's important for us to understand what the impact that pride can have and how it really affects us on a day to day. Even at work, you may get an email, or your supervisor or boss may correct you, and in your mind you're like, you may feel like it may not be like you may not be to blame for it, but then also you have to take some accountability and say, I did play a role in it. Move your pride aside and admit, I'm sorry, and it won't happen again. So it's just a learning process.
You keep coming back to a word. Both of you keep coming back to a word that I'm gonna kind of skate over for a minute. We can talk about it. It's accountability. It's true. It's accountability, and it's something that, again, that we talked about it 2 weeks ago when we had our show, when I did air. But it all falls in line to what makes us who we are. And I believe that individuals who can't admit that they are wrong, then that can suffer and cause a lot of relationships. Larry, you talked about it. You just gave us a significant story. What I like for what I'm going to do in this portion of it kind of quickly is I'm going to tell my story. And because I don't believe in hypocrisy. And in my writings, I talk about hypocrisy. So I can personally speak from when 2019, when I lost my job. And I thought prideful. I thought that I had to be the man of the house. Now, my wife has always supported me, been great uplifter in everything that I did. Honey, go do it. If that's what you have a passion about, go do it. If that's what you feel strongly about, go do it. But me inside, I felt that I wasn't pulling my weight. I felt that I was less than because I was misplaced as an employee. Therefore, my pride almost destroyed everything. How did that happen? Because I neglected being the man I was supposed to be. I was short. I was crass. I was nitpicky. I was angry. I wasn't angry at her. It was truly displaced anger. She did nothing but support me, But I chose upon myself to allow my pride to get in my own way and almost destroy my entire family. The blessing, they say that God puts a blessing in your life. I mean, he put that blessing in her, in my life. So I almost destroyed that by being not reciprocal of being who I truly was called to be, and understanding, as we talk about all the time, your situation is temporary. It was temporary because Lord knows I moved on after I swallowed that and realized that, wait a minute, this is not the place that I truly need to be. This is not what needs to happen. Again, ladies and gentlemen, if you're listening, we'd love to hear your feedback. I mean, we're sitting here, we're going to be transparent with everything that we talk about. But again, this is, we have to have dialogue just like this to make sure that we are making a change. See, too many times people talk about making a change and doing changes and making things happen, but yet and still they stay in the background. So again, you don't have to participate. Again, if you want to email what pride means to you, those letters, that's perfectly fine. If you want us to send us something or ask us a question, please do so. Our whole goal in the Process Live is to help change lives. And as my saying goes, change begins and ends within. So I'm a lob it. like Shaq used to do to Kobe. Which one do you want to take it? If you either one of you want to go first and talk about an experience, that'd be great. If you want to pass on it, I understand that too.
No, I definitely will go. And so one of the things that I had to learn over time is to ask for help. My pride didn't allow me to do so. So I could be struggling in various areas, no specific area. I could be struggling at work and need help, but I would not ask for help. I would continue to struggle and drown to the point where I couldn't pull myself up out of that. Over and over again, more things being piled on, and I'm continually like just going down because I refuse to ask for help, because I feel like I should be able to handle it all. I should be able to handle the workload. I should be able to handle the calls. I should be able to handle the questions. I should be able to handle it all. And if I can't handle it, then there's something wrong with me. So I began to internalize that and doubt myself, and still not asking for help until it took my supervisor to say, do you need help? What's going on? I've noticed your performance is lacking in this area where, typically you don't have this struggle. And I'm like, I need help. Like, it's been a lot of this work, the changes, the people moving out, people moving in. And it's been hectic, and it really has affected me. But I never shared that. I never shared that I needed help, that I was struggling, that I, had doubts about my performance. I had doubts about my place within this specific organization. So when I began to ask for help and really share my thoughts and ideas and really show them who I really was, things began to get significantly better. But I almost destroyed that professional opportunity because my performance was lacking, because I wasn't, asking for help. And now I have learned to do that. I still, just being transparent, I still have trouble asking for help, but it has gotten better, and it's getting better over time, because I know I can't do everything. I know I can't handle everything on my own, and the team is there for a purpose. In my home, my wife and I, we are a team. We do things together. We bounce ideas off of each other, and that works for us. That works for our marriage, because I need help, and I know that she needs help. We help each other, and I don't let my pride get in the way, because my pride can block or destroy those things that are designed to be there to help you. My wife is here to help me. I'm here to help her. My team is here to help me. So utilize those resources. God put those things there for us to utilize so that we don't break down and fail and and struggle. So utilize your resources and ask for help. That was my lesson learned. That's what I learned from getting my pride aside.
How about you, Larry?
Okay, so I think pride can be a self-motivating ingredient in your life. And here's why. I look back on my life and I can see where when I was born to a mother who had about 8, 9 siblings that she had to fend for and take care of herself. Pride is what kept her going on a day-to-day basis. She instilled pride in me. So I have been willing to take chances in life. I have been willing to try to do things in life. Give you some examples. When I graduated from college, I moved to Los Angeles because I was career bound. I wanted to be in a professional career. I didn't let things stand in my way. I figured out what I was going to do and how I was going to achieve it. I lived in LA for quite some time, and I was working for the Xerox Corporation, and things were going good for me. And then I had this notion that I wanted to go to Atlanta. So I said, hey, I'm going to Atlanta. Pride, helped me. It was self-motivating, and I went to Atlanta, and I did well in Atlanta. And then I decided I wanted to move to DC from Atlanta for another job opportunity. So pride can be a self-motivating ingredient in life if you learn how to use it properly.
Beautiful. No, you just answered a question. We had a question that popped up, and that question was, if you were to flip the concept, what is all yours take on the positive side of pride, and how do we use pride to our advantage? You just outlined that without the question even coming in. And you took your personal journey and your personal story and made that a motivating factor. I'm going to answer that question as well, And I'm just going to say it's perseverance.
Mhm.
It's perseverance. It's the ability to know that you have within you to reach a goal inside you, and you're not going to let anything detour you from that goal. You're going to work extremely hard. I talk about, when my wife and I decided we're going to do things, we're going to commit to doing things, that we eliminate everything else outside of that and make sure that we're going to do it. And we celebrate the small wins inside that. And we have pride about reaching our goals inside that. So again, it all starts with internal of doing that. So that's for me. Terrence, what about you? How do you use pride to your advantage as well?
Similar to you and Larry, as a motivator, pride can be a huge proponent of pushing someone forward. It could be a huge proponent of, you can use your pride. Sometimes when people doubt you, your pride will not allow you to fail, and your pride is going to push you and encourage you to make sure that you reach those goals. Sometimes just to prove your doubters wrong. Mm-hmm. And oftentimes pride is looked at in a negative connotation because it does have its negative associations, but it also can be a huge motor inside of you to keep you going, keep you revved up, because your pride won't allow you to fail. Your pride won't allow you to go back. Your pride won't allow you to not be successful. So on the flip side, I feel like that's how pride can kind of be a motivator.
Mm-hmm. Let's say fail forward.
Yeah,
you fail forward. So that's what you do.
Yes,
another question that was asked, and this is going to probably gut punch a few. Is why is it so hard for men to ask for help?
Yeah,
I'll take it first.
Okay.
No, hold on. Let me pass that one. Go ahead. You go, Terrence. You were ready to jump on that one. Go ahead.
All right. So I was thinking about this actually when I was talking earlier. I feel like a lot of the times pride it gets in the way of us asking for help because of the norms that society have set of what men should be and what men should do. Society has said we are providers. We should provide. We should protect. We should pray over our families. And pride, because society has set those standards, we are the sole provider. We identify ourselves in our work. So when we're not working, our pride gets in the way. When we can't provide, that hurts us. So I feel like one of the main proponents of pride and the role and us in the roles as men are some of the roles that society have established to say we should do it this way in this amount of time. But society they don't give you an instruction manual. Life doesn't come with an instruction manual. So that's the funny thing about it. Society sets these things, and we feel like we as men are supposed to adhere to those standards at all times. Oftentimes, we feel like we're supposed to supersede those standards that society sets. That's my take on it.
Beautiful, beautiful. Larry, you want to go next? Want to jump in there on that one?
Yes, sir. So for me, it was like, hey, I don't want to admit that I was wrong. I had to overcome that, mind, set because, my wife is a good example. She would say, hey, you can't ever admit that you've done something wrong. You know it all. You're perfect. So I had to, grow and learn and that, hey, I don't know everything. I got to admit when I'm wrong. I got to accept, my own, shortfalls. So once I overcame the fear of, saying I'm wrong, I started, being open-minded. I started, opening up to others and sharing with others. So the biggest thing that I could think of is just admitting, men don't like to admit when they're wrong.
Mm-hmm. I had to, if I could say ditto to all of you, to both of you, I would agree. It is, it goes back to what we've seen in our lives. Whether it's for those who had a father in the home, for those who had their grandfather around them, for those who even had uncles or a male figure, so to speak. The emphasis was boy, and I use that word loosely, boy. You need to either go to school, B, you go into the service, or C, you getting a job. Those were your options. But you were not going to do anything because that was a standard. That was an expectation that you push yourself above any and all things. And a misnomer that a lot of things I think that hurts a lot of individuals and hurts a lot of men, with this being the question, is they don't reach out for those positive outlets that they need to have to get them through these situations. I don't mean alcohol. I don't mean drugs. I don't mean other women. I mean focus groups. I mean therapy sessions. I mean counseling. I mean talking to a pastor, talking to other successful men, building a network of community that you can go to when you are feeling overstressed, when you are feeling overworked. Because again, we talked about it. Knowledge speaks, wisdom listens. So it's about us collectively taking care of each other to find those resources to what we need to do so we don't do it. And that's why I talk about this conversation tonight, ladies and gentlemen. If you're listening, this is legacy building. This is what this is about. It's about taking what we're talking about, sharing it with your kids, sharing it with your grandkids, sharing it with everybody, because it is paramount that we change the dynamics. Nobody's going to do it. We have to be the ones to do it. So again, thank you everybody for your questions as well. I'm going to shift to something that still is in that ballpark. It still falls along with pride, and that's it has to do something with my new series of the process part 4, which my topic is why not me. So right now, what I'm gonna start with you, Larry. What would be your personal suggestion to share with everyone that talks about how to get over, how to get to the next step and reach the levels that they get and be confident about it? In other words, why not me? Why doesn't that individual, that man or that woman, deserve to reach the pinnacle or the success that they need to have? Why not me?
So I would say you should probably reverse that mindset and say, why can't I achieve the following in life? What's holding me back? What things do I need to let go of, release, so I can be free to be what I want to be, do what I want to be. I mean, do what I want to do, achieve what I want to achieve in life. Be willing to follow your dreams in life. Be willing to sit down and think about the challenges that you've already been through and where you're trying to go, and just say, hey, I can make this happen for me. There's people out there who can help me, because kind of think about it, all of us have had some type of help in life from others to get where we are today. So don't be afraid to reach out, because if you reach out and you're sincere and you work hard and you stay focused, you're going to make it, because there's going to be many people who are going to come into your life and they're going to help you achieve whatever success you're trying to achieve. Just believe in yourself. Have faith in yourself. Don't doubt yourself. Don't have fear.
There we go. Thank you. How about you, Terrence? Why not me?
I echo the sentiments of Larry. I would tell people, take that box, that's your comfort zone, and just throw it away. Step out of that box, because you can be successful. You can be great. Oftentimes we get caught up in history, and people begin to doubt themselves. My mom didn't do this. My dad didn't do this. My grandparents didn't do this. How about you do it? How about you be the first to do it? How about you be a pioneer? How about you be the first one to step out of that place that is going to lead you to where you want to go, to where your children want to go? As I keep saying, it's generational. Everything that I do now, I do it for my wife and my son and my son's son and my son's son's son. So have that mindset of and focus on the future, on being consistent, on being creative, on being determined to achieve your goals, wherever those goals may be. I also would encourage people to write your goals down, put them in your wallet. For the ladies, put them in your purse, carry them with you. Because the reality is that life comes with a set of challenges, but how do you bounce back from those challenges and continue to persevere and continue to work toward the things that you said that you wanted to work toward, and learn to ask for help? Remove your pride, ask for help, use your resources, use what's around you to help you get there. And then when you get there, make more goals, continue to learn, and then go back and help other people get there. And encourage them and bring them along. It's a journey, and we'll get there just as fast and achieve those goals just as greater if we do it as a group and as a team. So just continue to move forward.
Beautiful. Well said. I always say, and what was posed to me when I was a young man was, Mark, who holds who back?
Mm-hmm.
Who holds who back?
Mm-hmm.
Is society holding you back? Is the coach holding you back? Is not getting up and getting in the weight room holding you back? Is not going there fix you something to eat because you're hungry? Is that holding you back? You make the choice of how you want things to be. And it becomes with deciding nothing is going to stop me within reason from reaching the levels of what I truly need to reach. Both of you brought some great things into play, and that is truly exactly what we're talking about, is how can we push forward and change that mindset and get individuals to accept it's my time. Why not me? Why not? Why don't I deserve to make these steps? Why don't I deserve to help other individuals be successful? Because again, at the end of the day, all you're going to do is you want to lay down in peace. I don't think anybody listening or anybody out there that can dispute that. You want to lay down in peace. You have that power, and you have that power to reach the levels that you want to reach if you believe in yourself and you do things the right way, and you're never forgetting the individuals who are helping you along the way. So beautiful, gentlemen. One last thing before we actually shift into another thing. We've talked about a lot of things. We talked about pride. We talked about accountability. We talked about motivating each other. We talked about why not me. This one is key. And I'm going to start with you, Terrence, first. If you can give everyone listening tonight one single word to hold on to as they go through their storms, what would that word be? And why did you choose that word?
Perseverance. And the reason why I chose that word was because no matter what comes up, what happens, no matter what the situation, persevere, keep going, because in the end you will come out on the other side, and it'll be a learned lesson. So persevere.
Thank you, Larry.
The word for me would be love, Love. It's a very powerful word, and I don't think people really truly understand how love for humanity, mankind, your families, your friends can help you change your situation.
Okay, thank you. For me, I'm going to say it's trust. Trust in the process. Trust in the fact that you are learning something every single day, although it may not seem to make sense. Trust that it will evolve to where you need it to be. Trust that the relationships that you built were relationships that weren't built for naught. Even if the things didn't happen or they ended the way that you didn't want them to end in any type of relationship, friend, family, or anything like that, trust there's a reason behind that. There's always a reason and a message or a savior from that situation or something that was to come. And just as important, trust in yourself. Trust in you. Why not me? Put the money on the money maker, the one who actually has control over everything. That's you. Now, I say that there's three things that you can control. You control your thoughts, you control your actions, and you can control your images. You control that. And that starts from the time that you're blessed, that your feet hit the ground every morning. When you look in your mirror, those three things are consistent, and you have the opportunity to enjoy them. So I really appreciate it. Larry, I'm gonna ask you first. Do you have any parting words you want to share with our friends before we get out of here?
Yes, I was just say, hey, continue to be all you can be in life. Love yourself and trust in God or whomever you believe in.
Okay, thank you. How about you, Mr. Allen?
I would just say trust the process. Just like Larry said, trust God. Trust the process. You're going to go through the process. It's going to have its ups and downs. Just trust it. Work through it. Learn through it. Grow through it. And at the end of it, you'll have a different outlook, a different understanding. Learn from it.
Before I close the message, let me ask you guys one more thing, because it just hit me, and I got to get it out there since we were wrapped up in the pride, and I think we sent a positive and powerful message. I read something that George Washington Carver said. He said 99% of all failures come from people who have a habit of making excuses. 99% of all failures come from people who have a habit of making excuses. What excuse would you like to see people eliminate as we go forward, as we grow forward, and they can really grasp why not me? Let's go with you first, Larry.
That excuse that I can't do it because I don't have the knowledge, the talents, the skills, and the abilities that others have. That's not true. God gave us all great abilities in life to use to become whatever we want to become. We just have to trust in God, trust the process, and believe that you can achieve whatever you want to achieve. Never doubt yourself. Stay focused. Walk tall.
That's right. Terrence.
Nobody in my family did it. My mama didn't do it. My daddy didn't do it. Nobody in my family did it. So I can't do it either. It's just not in us. That's not who we are. So I definitely would say that one. Stop using the fact that people around you aren't doing it as an excuse to not do it. That's fear. That's doubt. Get that out of the way. Mm-hmm. Be a pioneer. Go first. You be the first to do it. You step out there, step out on faith, and watch how God will carry you.
Dare to be great. Dare to be great. You know, I what I would like to say is that when COVID came, it eliminated the biggest obstacle that everybody always threw out there, and that's time. Excuse of time. We all get 86,400 seconds every single day. Deposited. Can't get a refund on it. If you can't overdraw it, it's done. At the end of the day, it's done. So for me, it would be definitely time. No more excuses for time. Your time is now. So again, thank you, gentlemen, so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it. Your words are so powerful. Again, thank you, Larry Register and Terrence Allen. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
You're welcome.
All right. I'm going to close with something that I hope will impact each one of you to make sure that we get everything that we came for. And we understand now that what pride can do, the negative effect, as well as the effect that it can be as a motivator. But we are in control of that. So I want to tell you a short story that hopefully will tie all this together for you. You know, after searching, there was a seeker who was told that he was to go into a cave in which he would find a well. You know, once he got in there, he was to ask the well, what is the truth? He advised, you know, and the well will reveal it to you. Just ask the well and it'll tell you what it is. Having found the well, the seeker asked the most fundamental question, and from the depths came the answer. Go to the village crossroads. There you shall find what you're seeking. Full of hope and anticipation, the man ran to the crossroads to find only three rather uninteresting shops. One shop was selling pieces of metal. Others sold wood. And that last saw thin wires that were for sale in the third. Nothing or no one there seemed to have much to do with the revelation of the truth. Very disappointing, the seeker returned to the well to demand an explanation, but he was only told, "You will understand in the future." When the man protested, all he got in return were the echoes of his own shouts. Indigent for having been made a fool of, or so he thought at that time, the seeker continued his wanderings in search of the truth. As the years went by, the memory of his experience at the well gradually faded until one night, while he was walking in the moonlight, the sound of a sitar music caught his attention. It was wonderful music, and it was played with a great mastery and inspiration. Profoundly moved, the truth seeker felt drawn towards the player. He looked at his fingers dancing over the strings. He became aware of the sitar itself, and then suddenly he exploded in a cry of joyous recognition. The sitar was made from wires and pieces of metal, and the wood just like those he had once seen in the 3 stores that he had thought to be without any particular significance. At last, he understood the message of the well. We've already been given everything we need. Our task is to assemble and use it in the appropriate way. Nothing is meaningful so as long as we perceive it only as separate fragments. But as soon as the fragments come together into synthesis, a new entity emerges whose nature would, could, and shall be foreseen by considering fragments alone. My point is, we have everything right now that we need. We have a unit of individuals who are looking back to help bring somebody else up. Please do not allow the negativity of someone in your ear. Please do not hurt your own opportunities of growth by allowing pride. Please remember, ignorance destroys everything, to stop you from doing any and everything that you are truly called and blessed to do. And while you're on your journey, while you're moving forward, because you are growing forward every single day, whether you realize it or not, I want you to do me a favor. I want you to do these gentlemen a favor that just gave you some wisdom tonight, free wisdom tonight for a legacy that's going forward. Remember, no matter what you go through, your why is greater than your situation, which is part of your process. I'm Mark Smith. Again, please take a moment and go back and review this message. I hope you do. Please take a listen to the podcast on Anchor or iHeartRadio under Mark Smith, The Process. But go be great. Go have a blessed day. And always remember as well, change begins and ends within. God bless all of you and have a wonderful night.